Welcome to Kitchen Table Finance, the podcast where we serve up bite-sized pieces of financial advice to simplify your money and your life. Join your hosts, David Shotwell and Nick Nauta, and let's get started.
Cole Williams, welcome to the show. Long time no see, my friend.
I know. Good to be back. You guys have been gatekeeping the public from Cole, so I'm glad to be here.
Well,
You've been MIA.
You're back for a special episode with this spring's intern, Aditya Chaturvedi.
There you go. This is a solid 8 out of 10.
Better known as Adi around these parts. Adi, welcome. Glad you could join us for the podcast. It's been fun getting to know you the last couple of months, and excited to learn a little bit more about your experience. So why don't you tell us, first and foremost, where you're from and how in the world you ended up at Michigan State University?
It's a long story, but I just want to say thank you for having me. You know, they say you should never meet your heroes, but I'm glad I met Nick Nauta. So, so it's a pleasure to be here. I've been an avid kitchen table finance viewer in my time, so it's amazing to be on the show. My name is Adi. That's what they call me here in the United States of America. I grew up in India, in the greatest city in the world, Mumbai. Lived there for 18 years of my life. Basically, within where I was born and where I stayed, like when I moved, was literally like 3 miles away from each other, maybe. So basically, lived in the same area all my life. Came to Michigan State at 18, and yeah, it was just an amazing thing because I've loved my time at Michigan State. I've loved my time at Michigan. I used to always I tell people all the time that I used to hate the snow growing up. Like every time we would go on to Switzerland, North India, wherever, I would cry every time I was out in the snow. But now I embrace the snow. You should see me out there in 20-degree weather with just a t-shirt on. So I'm embracing being a Michigander.
Becoming a true Michigander. So how did you decide to go to Michigan State? What brought you here?
Yeah, I think just the business program, the Broad College of Business, being very reputable, just made me choose Michigan State. And then after that, it was just kind of picking my major and, kind of narrowed down finance after a couple of classes I took. MSU mostly because of Broad.
Nice.
Now, I had heard a rumor, Adi, that it wasn't just the Broad Business College, that there may have been some love involved in your decision making. Is this true?
That's off the record. It's off the record. It's off the record. My parents are going to watch this, so it's off the record.
Fair enough. Not everything is for public consumption, Adi.
Might have to cut that. Might have to cut that out.
Tell us how you decided on finance and specifically the wealth management program.
Yeah, sure. So I've been, I'm Indian, so they say you're supposed to be good at math. So I've been a big math guy growing up, and and then when I came here, being in the business school, my brother at that time was an investment banker. My dad's an actuary, so it just kind of made sense. I took a class with Professor Hadlock called Finance 250. It's like careers in finance. It's a one credit class where they basically bring in people from all different fields within finance, and then you get to talk to them. And that's where I met Professor Shisto, the GO, some people call him, in the East Shore Lane. Professor Shisto, he told me about the program. I talked to him. He told me to apply for the minor. And yeah, that's how I found myself there. I applied for the minor before I even filled out all the requirements. He was like, oh, don't worry about it. Just, apply, write an essay about how it can help you. And then once you pass all the requirements, you'll be officially admitted in. So that's how I came to wealth management, just out of the love of, I love the markets. I love talking about the markets. And then when I interned at a mutual fund after my freshman year, for me, it was too Excel-y, I guess. I don't know how else to put it. It was, so for me, it was simply just being able to, it's the fact that I can help someone while doing what I'm good at. It's that's a good mix, They show you those charts in career classes or whatever. It's you do what you're good at, you do what makes money, you do what you love, and for me, it was kind of a good mix of the three.
I love that. So tell us a little bit, what are you most looking forward to in your career? What about financial planning are you excited about starting?
I think just being able to actually No, like obviously right now I think I know what I'm doing to a decent extent, but just being able, like being confident in what I'm saying and like what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis, and just having like the one thing to focus on, right? Because right now I work like 4 jobs. I have I have to take like 16 credits in school, so it's a lot of things. So just having like the one thing to focus on, just being good at it, and just doing that day to day, like having that as like a part of my routine is something that I am looking forward to.
And what's your favorite job?
Right now, oh, it's obviously shovel repair. Financial planners in Lansing, Michigan.
Uh,
Good answer,
well,
Addy. Good
sir,
answer.
I am curious to know, in your time here, what has been some of the more interesting or surprising things that you learned as a part of your SRB journey?
Sure. Yeah, I think the most interesting thing has been talking about the markets and the economy with clients. Like from our first meeting, like literally 5 minutes into the meeting, the client asked about the incoming correction. I think he called it the coming correction or something. And just
Mhm.
like we always heard that in class, that clients are always like very nervous about the markets. And I guess I just I didn't really think that that was actually going to come to fruition. So just seeing like people actually be nervous about markets, and I think like the time I came in worked perfectly for me, because the first month, February, we're doing great, right? The markets are
Yeah.
up. We're like, oh, like this quarter annualized, you're making 8-10% in a 60-40 portfolio. Like you guys are cooking. And then some things happened. Right before I went to Dallas, some things happened, and there was a lot of bombing, and eventually eventually the market started going down, and just seeing how clients reacted to that. So I guess it was like a convenient time for me, because I did get to see like both sides of the aisle of like when the markets are doing good, how are clients reacting, versus when the markets are not doing so good, even though now obviously we've recovered, but when they were not doing so good in early March, like how the clients were reacting then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you're it sounds strange to say, but I almost think that you're lucky in that you got that experience, because not everybody does. And one of the things that I am grateful for about my time as a financial planner is I was doing this in 2008 in one of the worst markets that we've ever had, and those experiences live on in me, and just kind of how people reacted, and how people bounce back, and what happens when you make some of those decisions in some of the toughest markets. So I think that experience will definitely serve you well. So
What really
um,
surprised me too was that even when the markets were doing well, the clients were still nervous. Like
yeah.
they'll be talking about the coming correction when their portfolio was up like 15% last year, and they've been
Mhm.
up 3%, and it's February, like, and they're still talking about, oh, what's gonna happen. So that was really, I always crack a smile when that happens, and sometimes I'm scared that the client's gonna look at me and be like, yo, why is this kid smiling? No, you're just an intern, but they don't know what's going on in my head. So.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely, there's a lot of uncertainty out there, and has been this year. And whether the market's going up or down, it's still a true feeling that you have to be able to address with clients, and make sure that, they understand what the ramifications of that, and if they're going to be okay, and how they're going to kind of get through it. So, um, tell me what your favorite part of financial planning, your favorite class is, and don't say insurance because your dad's an actuary.
No, I'm legally obligated to say insurance, actually. I paid a premium all my life to get the payout. No. My favorite class at MSU, is that what you asked? Or like
Okay.
my favorite part? Yeah. So my favorite class at MSU is Finance 355, Financial Modeling. I'm a TA, ULA, as they say, for that class. I like, as like, we don't really do a lot of Excel nowadays in the financial planning field, because we have so many amazing softwares that basically do that for us. But I still find it super fun, like on Excel, just being able to make a model and changing one thing and seeing how other things change. It's very similar to how like Money Guide Pro is, right? For example, where let's say you're in the play zone, you're changing one thing, and then the probability of success is changing, or wherever it may be. So I just love that sensitivity, I guess, where like in that class when we're making, for example, a DCF, and I'm doing a data table, and I'm changing, I don't know, the expenses, the operating expenses, for example, and just seeing how that affects net present value. And then you can kind of present that. I find that so much fun. And I think eventually you might ask me like what my least favorite part about financial planning is, and it's probably that I can't use Excel as much as I probably want to. And despite like me like talking about my freshman year internship at a mutual fund, like it was too Excel-y, but I still love Excel. So like that's why even now like for my project like at SRB for example, I used Excel, but I really didn't need to, but just because I was like, hey, I have Excel, why not? Why don't I make a loan dashboard, which was pretty fun. So yeah.
Yeah, that was a good route to go since Dave loves Excel.
Adi might be the first intern that was like, I need to use more Excel while I'm here. So it's a nice change of pace.
You
Yeah,
should
yeah.
have seen I took my vest off, but when my vest is on, you can tell that I love Excel. So
Oh, yeah.
I try
Uh,
I try my best out here.
my next one for you, Adi, is what advice would you give an incoming freshman at MSU that is curious about financial planning?
Yes, I would say first of all, please, for the love of God, talk to Professor Shisto.
Mhm.
The financial planning and wealth management minor is so popular nowadays to the point where it gets filled up, and Professor Shisto like sends us emails, people who are in the program, asking if anyone has changed their mind, just because there are people on the wait list. So, like, I think the best thing I did as a freshman was I talked to Professor Shisto my second semester, and then as soon as I came back from the summer, like my literally first week of sophomore year, I talked to him, and then I applied, and I was able to get in. I know that if I waited until I finished all my requirements, I might not be here right now, just simply because the program gets filled out. And it's a big part. Like if you want to be a financial planner and that's what you think you want to do, like I do, you're waiving the education requirement for CFP, so it's really really important. So I think first, and then it kind of goes on to like a broader point of just being proactive with what you want to do in college. Like I've obviously done this, like I'm no perfect person by any means. My girlfriend will tell you that. But the, the best thing you can do is instead of like letting things happen to you and just going class by class by class, try to like see what you want to do in the future and then kind of make that happen. For example, like it could have been easy for me as a sophomore just looking for like a internship after sophomore year, but then in November I came across a beautiful posting on Handshake. It said Shortwell Water Bear Financial Planners internship, and I applied for that in November, I believe, or December of 2024. And here I am in April 2026, a year and a half later. So just being proactive early on can really like pay stuff later. And even now, like it's tougher for you to get involved in MSU like once you're a junior, because a lot of people, let's say you want to be on an e-board for a club, they only take like rising juniors, so after your sophomore year. So like if I wasn't involved as much as I am, it'll be really tough for me to get involved now going into my senior year. So just kind of like set those. And this kind of relates to financial planning. Is just kind of set those early blocks in like the early part of your collegiate career in like the first 2 years, and then you can kind of use that to jump off and like do bigger things in life. Kind of how in financial planning, you want to save, max out your Roth, whatever, put your 401k contributions down, and then eventually when it comes to doing whatever you want at 60, you increase your spending and you're probably still 99%. So that's kind of how I look at college.
Love it. Love
Old
it.
soul.
What
They say I'm 60 years old at heart, so I try to keep like like the facial is like 20, but in there
Uh,
I'm a 60-year-old man.
Adi, what have you learned about money that surprised you the most, or investing?
Yes, I mean, in like the last year, what I've learned is that money is it's not always about having the most money, right? And it's always like if I was a financial planner that was just concerned with having the highest returns on your portfolio, having like Nick always says that the easiest way to max out to have your financial goals met is like live in a cardboard box, save every single dime you make, and then you'll be set for life. But it's not about that, right? Like if I think if you're focused too much on like the portfolio and your investments and your returns, you're kind of missing the point, right? And like this relationship with money is also like very unhealthy, because then you kind of come to a point where like no amount of money is going to be good enough for you. You might think, oh my god, like my portfolio reached $1 million, I made it, and then you're concerned, why is it not 1.5 million? And then it just keeps going up. So I think for me, like even now, like I'm a college student, like there's a reason I work 4 jobs, right? We all need we all need money to do things, but it should really be viewed as like as something you want to use to reach your goals, rather than the money itself being the end goal. And like for me, that's something I realized throughout this internship and like kind of just doing my own stuff, like when I was at the mutual fund, it wasn't the same, right? And again, I don't blame. Hey, I'm talking a lot about the mutual fund, but it was a great mutual fund company that gave me a great opportunity. But it's not about that per se. It's just about my realization, instead of like trying to beat the market or trying to do whatever you want. It's about using money to do the things that you really want to do, and it's never about having the most. And a rich life is always a life where you need to be rich in experiences, you need to be rich in your relationships, not necessarily in what your Roth IRA is saying.
Beautiful, Adi. My job here is done. The student has become the teacher.
Hey, I'm already a teacher, so wait till I get my PhD.
All right. Well, Adi, I got two for you. Nick's got one, and then we'll get you out of here. So the first one is the most important question of the whole interview here. If you were going to be advising an incoming freshman at Michigan State, what is the number one flavor at the dairy store in terms of ice cream?
It's obviously the Buckeye Blitz. Anyone who
Oh.
hates on peanut butter ice cream is disgraceful. The Buckeye Blitz is incredible. It's just so good. And despite having Buckeye in the name, and we don't really mess with Ohio State, but it's
Wish.
incredible. The first time, and the thing with the dairy store too is that they give you huge scoops. It's insane. You ask for a mini, they give you like 3 scoops on. I'm like, all right, bro, chill, calma. So when I'm eating the ice, it's just the Buckeye Blitz. So please, if you are listening, to all the millions of fans out there of the SRB podcast, if you're listening, please, for the love of God, get the Buckeye Blitz. You will not be disappointed with the waffle cone.
That is. Oh, obviously the waffle. Yeah, that is the right answer. My wife is a big fan of the sesquicentennial swirl. That's hers. But second question is obviously who is the better podcast host, myself or Nick?
I'm gonna go for myself. Neither one of you. As a podcast host already, listen to the RVC Spectacular Spuns podcast. I'm gonna choose myself. No, I'm kidding.
Good plug and everything. I like it.
See, you know
I'll
me.
roll with that.
I'm gonna go with Mr. Nicholas Nauta. Just like he's my hero. Cole, one day you will be picked. One day you will be picked. But I'm gonna go with Mr. Nicholas Nauta. I think that's the right answer, objectively.
Beautiful answer, Adi. Beautiful.
Okay, fine.
No, but if they ask me, if the question was not who's a better podcast host, who's a better person to talk to during lunch about conspiracy theories, I'm going with Cole Williams.
Yep.
I'm going with Cole Williams.
All day.
For sure. Adi, how would you describe your hair to our listeners?
Immaculate, graceful. Like the words cannot describe it. Guys, the headphones is nerfing my hair. Like once you see the mullet in its full form with business at the front, party at the back. I'm known for my hair. People say I have a face for podcasting, and it's not even about the face; it's about my hair. Like it's just, it instantly gives me so much more aura. Versus like you should have seen me with my buzz. It was not looking good. It was not looking good. So I'm trying my best. I'm trying to grow it out again. At one point, I needed a hairband. When I interviewed for SRB, I was pretty sure I was wearing a hairband. So so next when I come back on the podcast soon.
I'm pretty sure in your interview you asked me what I thought about your hair.
I probably maybe. I was
That's
taking,
how you got it.
I was taking recommendations. So
Listen, I'm jealous. That's a beautiful head of hair you got there.
hey,
So what's next for you, Adi? What are you doing next, and what are you looking forward to in your career?
yeah. So after this, so in just this internship ends in a week. So in just 2 or 3 weeks, I have another internship in the financial planning field that I'm excited for throughout the summer. Then I'll be going to my senior year, my last year of college. So hopefully by the time of senior year, I'm pretty confident in what I want to do. And then the dreaded grad school. Aditya Chaturvedi will be hopefully going to grad school in the fall of 2027. Yes. So basically, do another internship this summer, do another year of school, go to grad school,
Nice.
and then work, and then get a PhD? Question mark. Depends on if I find something that I want to tell the world about, and I want to.
Dr. Adi?
Dr. Bro, yes, my dad always said. So my dad wanted me to be a lot of things, and if I'm gonna send my dad one part of the podcast, this will be the part. This will be the part. So, hello, um, my dad wanted me to be an actuary simply because he is one, but even more than that, he wanted me to be a doctor because he always told me that if I have a son who is a doctor, I will have two doctors because doctors marry doctors apparently. So, if I can unofficially be a doctor,
Wow,
it's
there
like
you go.
being a PhD is like a fake doctor. Like, let's be honest. Like, I'm not a real doctor if I get a PhD. So, just having Dr. Aditya Chaturvedi, it can give me some like fake brownie points that I don't deserve, but I'll take.
Well,
Is there a doctorate in action?
Well, I
Is
was
there?
gonna say, all I ask is that if you ever find yourself on a plane as Dr. Adi and someone's like choking or having a heart attack and someone says, "Is someone a doctor here?" that you stand up and say, "I am," but not a medical doctor. You
I
say,
am a
"I meant
doctor of
doctor."
philosophy. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Say I am. Here's my spreadsheet to prove it.
Yep.
Yep.
Um,
Here's my adjusted present value.
maybe you can become a doc. You can get a doctorate in actuarial science.
Don't
That's a
say these
twofer. Both
things,
of your
Nick.
dad's dreams.
Nick, don't say these things.
If that's a thing, Adi, I think you just figured out your future. And also,
Uh,
since doctors marry doctors, what is your girlfriend going to get a doctorate in? Is she on board with this plan?
she hates school so much, so I don't think she's gonna be a doctor. So I think that dream's over. But it's okay. It's okay. She's an IT major, so she's taking over like the Indian gene of mine by being in IT. So
There you go.
hopefully, she can continue the bloodline.
I'll tell you what, Addy. No matter what you do, make sure you stay true to yourself and let your Addiness shine. Because it's been a real pleasure having you around these last couple weeks, and you bring a lot of great energy, and we really appreciate it. And thank you for being yourself and coming on the show and being a great intern here. Looking forward to our last week next week, and we're gonna miss you.
I'll miss you guys, and I told you guys that the last day is gonna be emotional. But the good thing is, like, while I'm crying, at least I'll be crying while eating some nice garlic naan. Okay,
There you go.
so
There we go.
I'll
Well,
be
it
eating
sounds
some.
like we need to take a trip to the dairy store afterwards to make sure that
Oh,
the Buckeye Blitz is really the winner.
now you're talking. Now you're talking my language. So I will be there no matter what.
If you're gonna cry, you might as well cry over ice cream. That's my philosophy.
Hey, I like it. I'll do a PhD on that.
Perfect. Cole, been a pleasure. Thanks for joining the show. We'll see you back soon, Adi. It's not farewell yet, but make sure you keep tabs and tell us how you're doing, and come back when you're Dr. Adi. How's that?
Sounds amazing to me. Why? Wait, why only when I'm a doctor? You don't want me
You can
back
come back
earlier?
whenever you want, Adi.
Okay,
You're always
okay, okay.
welcome.
I'll send you an email. We'll talk. You can hit my business email.
Perfect. Love it. All right. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thank you for joining us for another chat about your retirement and finances. Please hit that subscribe button. You can also contact us at srbadvisors.com or email us at info@srbadvisors.com. See you next time on Kitchen Table Finance.